everyone, I'm Kaye. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you some complexion tips and tricks. I talk about foundation, concealer, setting powder, contour, blush, highlighter, all of that good stuff to help you guys get a flawless complexion. So I hope you guys all enjoy the video. If you want to see more of my videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up as well. And with no further ado, let's get into the video. So I have my brows and eyes done. I wanted to do this video because I feel like foundation matching, how to keep your foundation on for a long time, I feel like those are questions that I get quite a bit, and it definitely impacts the rest of your makeup. So I wanted to show you guys a few of those things, so let's get into it. A huge mistake with makeup in general is just not prepping before. I feel like prepping your skin does more than primer even does. So before this, the eye cream I used is the Ollie Hendrickson Banana Bright Eye Cream, and it has a little bit of like a yellow tint to it, so that kind of helps with correcting as well, but I just kind of let that soak in. And then for moisturizer, I used the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. I love this stuff because it is a gel, so for me, I have oily / combination skin, so it isn't too thick where it moisturizes too much to where the foundation's sliding off. It's just like a nice amount of like light moisturizer to where I can put this one straight on and then go in with makeup and it's totally fine. Before concealer, one thing that has helped significantly is a corrector. So these are by Bobbi Brown and I have the shade Extra Light Peach Bisque. You can also get a concealer that has more of a pinky tone and that will help a ton with brightening. I'm just tapping underneath there. I just use my fingers. I don't use a sponge or brush just because I feel like this consistency is better when you work it in with your fingers because your fingers have that natural warmth to it, so it just helps emulsify into the skin a little bit better. Another major mistake that I see with foundation is people using way too much. One way to avoid using too much foundation is to apply concealer first in the areas you need it. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I like the matte one a little bit better, but I don't know where I put it. The reason being is because I can blend the matte one out with the brush and it looks just fine. This one, if you blend it out with the brush, it separates, so I don't love that. But I'm just gonna put it on. I am in the shade Light Sand, if anyone's curious. And I put it underneath the eye. You don't need much. Like some people coat it. Don't do that. It's gonna cause like so much creasing and it's not gonna set right underneath the eye. It's too much. But I'm just putting it on those places where I need it. So I like to go on the forehead, down the nose, on the chin. If you have a lot of redness on your cheeks, apply concealer there, but it helps not have as many layers underneath your makeup so it lasts longer. Like if you think about with nail polish, if you stack on too many layers, the odds of it like moving and getting messed up and like getting stuff caught in it or not drying well is way higher than just doing thin layers. Blending that out, and I am using a beauty blender. The reason I like using a beauty blender with concealer is it takes any excess concealer and absorbs it into the sponge so that it's not all over your face. All right, and then for foundation, I am using the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. I've been obsessed with this recently. I love it. Just applying a pump straight to the beauty blender because I've used this before and I know how much I need to use. What I like to do is put it in those spots first. I like this foundation because it doesn't dry down too fast. It has SPF 25, so I mean, if you're wearing a foundation for pictures, you're not gonna wanna do this one because SPF flash is back, so it'll look really light, but I like it for every day because of that, and especially with summer. So that is looking nice and smooth, and I like to over blend because it just helps push it into your skin a little bit more and helps it so it wears longer. Next step is powder. Powder used to be something that I didn't use. I didn't really think it was that necessary, but I love powder now. I can't really go without it. I love it. So I am using the Beauty Bakery Better Not Bitter powder, and I just have some in the cap. That's actually quite a bit. I don't really need that much. I'm taking that on a JH07 and I'm setting that down So this is where I'll go a teeny bit heavier with powder, is in here and here, because that is where the oil always shows for me. And I do like powder all over the face, so I just take what's left, which is a pretty small amount in there, and I take a huge brush. This is the XOXO brush. I just work it into the brush. I like to pat. If you rub, sometimes it can disrupt the foundation underneath. So if you were just going straight in with your powder, rubbing it, and you find that like things look like they're separated a little bit, or things almost like chunky underneath, that's why. So just make sure you pat. And then I like to touch just to kind of feel if there was anything I missed there. I'm back with mascara on, so next up is bronzing. I like to combine bronzing and contouring into just one step, but the color I use is pretty neutral. It is called Golden Light by Bobbi Brown. Not too orange, but it's not too gray. Some bronzers are so orange, and then some contours are almost too gray that it just makes your face look kind of dead. This is just my tried and true bronzer. I'm going to be using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH05 brush. I'm taking that bronzer, and I just am going underneath the cheekbone. I used to not like this look because I feel like it made it look like my cheek was lower than it is, but the more I do it, the more I'm like, oh, that looks better. I like to just dust it across just so everything looks more uniform. So where I'm applying the majority of the product is on the sides of my forehead. The blush I'm using is called Rosé by Laura Mercier. Where I like to focus my blush is up here, because it helps lift the face, and I'll go a teeny bit underneath. So if you want to emphasize more of your cheekbone, or you don't have much of a cheekbone, I recommend putting it more on the apple of the cheek. The blush is on, now let's move on to highlighter. I am going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Becca highlighter called Champagne Pop. This palette was discontinued, but they still have that shade, so that's what I'm going to be using. This is a Morphe 510. I'm just focusing it on the back, and I'm kind of stopping at the outer corner of my eye. That just gives you guys a good stopping point. I'm going to add some setting spray. This is just the Mario Badescu setting spray. This doesn't make the makeup last any longer. I feel like it just helps the makeup melt more into the skin. It just makes it look like skin. So I'm just gonna spray that on. I like to fan it dry. That way everything stays in place and it's not dripping down. This just dries it immediately. And then after that, I like to go back in with my sponge and just press everything in. This just ensures that it's going to stay. Alrighty everyone, so I will zoom in and show you the final finished foundation look. So you can see it's very natural, looks very skin-like. It's very smooth. All right, everybody. So before I do my outro, I just wanted to come back on right before. So I am facing my window just to show you guys what it looks like in real life. So I'm gonna zoom in, but you can see it's still looking very smooth, very skin-like. It doesn't look cake-facey at all. It's a little dark here, but you can see the concealer is still smooth. I would rather have a little bit of darkness than caked on concealers. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Try out some of these tips, see what you think, see if you like how your foundation turned out. And if you guys have any questions or video recommendations, leave them down below. That's the end of the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!